This is where they've had a lot of speed, this type of racetrack. They need to execute. He's been very vocal about it. The upcoming races he's not as confident about in regard to their cars. This is a very important race. You see, Blaney had trouble down the back straightaway. He slowed a great deal. Several guys got by him.
Away from Chase Elliott. Won yesterday's Xfinity Series race, his fourth win in 4 starts here at the racetrack. And now Bell is showing that not only are those Joe Gibbs Toyotas good, but his comfort level is high here. Elliott ran out to a lead. It looks like he's getting a little tight, especially in the middle of the racetrack, using up a lot of track. That 20, Jeff, very efficient around the bottom.
And Christopher Bell is a smooth race car driver, and he loves this racetrack. Joe Gibbs Racing seems to consistently bring fast race cars here. That's where if you have a fast race car, Steve, you're good with no practice.
Yeah, right.
You know, you like it. You're like, all right, I want to get practice to the other guys. We're going to unload and be just fine.
Well, that is kind of, people always say, how is one organization so good at a racetrack? And it's surprising because even with a new car, a new setup, a new tire, so many new things, certain tracks, New Hampshire, Martinsville, there are certain tracks, Marty, that it seems like the approach, maybe not the physical setup, but the approach, what you prioritize, aero versus mechanical grip, it stays consistent year after year, and that approach is part of the success.
And Steve, I love the coaching from Adam Stevens for Christopher Bell early in this run. He identified pretty quickly about 15 laps into the run. He said, I think our car is going to be better on the long run than the 9 car. Just be patient, stick with it. And you mentioned the 4 wins in the Xfinity Series here for Bell. How about 6 wins and 10 National Series starts for Homewood? Understand, Larson said it just feels like I have nothing to lean on corner entry. Is that a familiar issue here at New Hampshire?
That is definitely a familiar issue. And what he's talking about is he's too loose. The back of the car is not gripped up the way he wants it to be. So he can't drive in with the amount of pace that he wants because he's afraid the back of the car is going to try to spin out, get him out of the groove, or get him wrecked, Parker.
And Jeff, just one thing that sticks to my mind when you guys were talking about Chase Elliott commenting on the car being really rough as it goes to the corners. You know, the visible bumps in the exit in turn 3, but one of the things that stuck out to me yesterday was how bumpy the center of the corners are. That could be something that he's fighting, and maybe Kyle Larson is trying to get away from. More race in New Hampshire when we come back.
And these two have been going at it. And now the leader is there.
Bottom of the screen, Joey Logano has worked his way out of the rear bumper of the 9. Right there is where I think the 20 is so good, like that 2/3 mark. As you watch on the top of the screen, he's going to chase Briscoe into the corner. Zepp, brand new partner on top of that that 14 car. It's always great when you see a new partner in the sport. Right there, you see how the 20 kind of turns back to the apron. The front tires on that 20 car really seem to work through the middle of the corner. I think that gives the driver options. On the bottom of the screen, that battle for second is heated up because now Blaney has entered the fold. He says as Logano runs down Elliott, Blaney has run down Logano.
Yeah, we talk about Logano being good on these racetracks. Well, that 12 car, I would say, has been just a little bit better and just a little more speed than the 22, but Penske teammates, both are really good. Christopher Bell still trying to put a lap on Chase Briscoe.
So now with 8 laps to go in the stage, if we can make it all the way to the end of the stage, we'll see the green and white checker and everybody will come to pit road. I assume it's going to be 4 tires for everyone and adjustments. The interesting thing is they've burned more fuel. They can put in the race car on a 4-tire change. So what teams will wait to fill up the fuel tanks and which guy will leave on the jack? So Parker, we may see a variety of pit stop speeds. What else are you hearing on the 14 as he now is going a lap down to the 20th belt?
Well, what he's doing right there, his team came on the radio and just said basically race the 20 at all costs to stay on the lead lap, because the one thing that hurts the strategy
here to beat everyone, and you need to beat everyone every lap. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't times to ride to save your equipment, but that is the strategy to win. At no point should you give up the idea to win a race.
And a big gap now between Chase Briscoe and Christopher Bell, under 3 laps to go in stage 1. Ryan Preece just in front of Briscoe. Another driver trying to stay on the lead lap.
Bowman and Gibbs. Toyotas not only just lead the race, but there's a whole chunk of them inside the top 10.
Logano underneath Chase Elliott.
One more time around, and it looks like Chase Briscoe is going to try to stay on that lead lap. We'll see if he can do it through 1 and 2. That higher line is working for Briscoe, but here comes Bell.
Look, Laney's looking.
Trying to put him a lap down as that battle for second continues on the bottom of the screen. Through 3 and 4, the final time. And Briscoe looks as though he's going to be able to hang on to a lead lap finish in stage 1. Christopher Bell, that's his 7th stage win of 2024. That's second most behind Larson, who has 8. Watch this battle for 9th.
Points are available. 45 of Reddick runs the third lane basically to roll around both of them. And Reddick will get 9th, Bowman 10th, and Ty Gibbs will get shut out of points.
From green to green and white checkered in stage 1. And it was Chase Elliott for the first 41 laps. And then Christopher Bell makes the pass and ends up winning stage 1.
Need more drive